Oi, oi! It's not even the start of day one yet. Recording this on Tuesday evening, just up to 20 past 7 is the time of recording. So prices that I quote will be from in and around that time. And yeah, bets will be struck. Well, bets I talk about that struck would have been struck by now, but they may be struck a little bit later on in the week. So let's go, right? Day one will be there or thereabouts tomorrow. Depends on what time you watch this. I think a lot of you will just watch the day one video, crack on with the day two video after, which is obviously completely and utterly fine. It was real good to see so many comments within the last video as well. And there's been a lot of guest reference as well. So not necessarily getting involved too early because prices will move about a bit and different opinions on selections, which is great. It's the whole point of horse racing, right? If we all agreed, it would be too easy. We wouldn't get any value. So I'll take note of a few things. I'm going to put in the description all the selections. So if you don't want to watch the video, then you can be lazy and not watch the whole video. But I mean, it's up to you, innit? I'll try and keep it concise. I would recommend doing so because stakes aside, I guess hearing people's reasoning and relative confidence is a lot easier. Now, in a written column, it's good because you take things as said, but I don't know whether the emphasis comes across as clearly in a written column as it does with a video. That's not to say don't read written columns. I just mean I'm doing this. You've got the luxury of seeing my emotions and the way I talk and my tone and voice, etc. It's going to give you a better feeling of fancies more than not. That's what I think is important, right? I won't waffle too much, but it's good that there's so many people out there that give their opinion. Lots of people are doing it for free. It's nice just to consolidate all those different opinions to help bolster your own. I talked to lots of people about this. I mean, I could put up the WhatsApps to be more truthful with this, but I'd say more truthful, to be more like, I guess, confirming of it maybe. But one of the guys I speak to quite a bit, we were talking about some horses for Thursday, we're coming into here. I said to him, talk me out of this horse because I'm betting it on the exchanges. Someone's laying me, and he just sent a screenshot. It's him that's laying me the bets. Said to him, it's funny, isn't it? This time far out, there's no liquidity, and it's literally just us two Muppets betting against each other. But it's that, right? It's good to have a discussion point. That's why I like the comments, so drop them in there. So bang a like on the video if you haven't done already. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. We got day two selections coming out before day one's even run. I'll continue doing this day three and day four. Christ, I cannot wait for tomorrow's confirmations and declarations finally for Friday. There's one that I want to get right stuck into. Again, very different opinions from other people, but we will come on to that. Now, day two is, I guess, probably I'm staking a few quid in it. Similar-ish, I guess, confidence to day one. There wouldn't be anything that would be outlandish that I'm saying, wow, get right stuck into. I think I could have one of them Friday, maybe Saturday too, or at least one. But I'm going to give you my honest thoughts as always. I'll tell you what I've already bet up to now. And I said I'd do a bit of an update on any changes for the first day. So the first thing to just talk about on the first day is I have bet the line in the winter. I bet him on Bet365. He was 9-4. He's still about 9-4, I think, top price. He may be out to 5-2, but this morning he went out to 11-4 on the exchange. I cashed the 9-4 on Bet365, put the 75 on the exchange at 3.65, I think was the average that I got matched at. So it increases the return back on there. He's gone out as big as 3-1 on the exchanges. I've had another 25. So I've actually now had £100 on the line in winter. You'll know if you watched yesterday's race that I was talking about, there's a certain ceiling that I'd get to on those types of races. Potentially with the extra 25 that I've had on him, sensible head on, I would look to get that £25 laid in running at a bit of a shorter price. So talked about doing this before, maybe a point shorter just to boost the potential winnings in there. I don't think I'm going to get myself overly caught up on this horse because we know that how good the Godolphin one could be. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I've had a tiny bit more on, but that would be looking to trade. And I have cashed the 9-4, put it on the exchange and get a bigger price. So I'd recommend doing that with lots of bets, right? If I've got any of these that I've already struck that I can cash out for the same stake, but get enhanced place terms or best odds guaranteed or bigger prices, I would be doing that. But doesn't really help anyone if you don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, let's get on to day two. I'll put up the screen as per usual. Prefer looking at it like this. I'll put a link in the description again to the cheat sheet stuff. Some of them do help. Helps with me, like sort of whittling down some races in some instances, other instances not so much. And then I'll share with you the ones that I have bet in it. So we'll do it in chronological order because it's a much easier, isn't it? We've got the Laufer Stakes, which is a Group 2. Interesting race in this one. We've got Liavani that is trying 6 furlongs for the first time. So again, I don't put the percentages of horses that have tried, so it may not be as potentially relevant. Like, we don't know how many last time out winners there were in the race and whether 80% of them winning is a good strike rate or not. You could have been that 90% of the horses won last time out. So there's a bit of context that could be added with this stuff. But as like a bit of a one that's chucked in there, 7 of the last 10 favourites have finished first or second. 3 of them have actually won. 7 of the last 10 winners had an official rating of 100 plus. That had 2 or more wins. 7 of the last 10 had actually already run at 6 furlongs. And you see that 8 of the last 10 winners had won last time out. So that wouldn't fully put me into something or not put me into something. Again, I've talked about the fact that it might help me see where the market's going to move a little bit. But the long and the short of this particular race is a lot of these have run sort of intertwined in form with each other. It is a Group 2 by name. Liavani has been pretty impressive, but both those runs are at 5. I don't really see why the 6 furlongs would be a complete and utter problem, but I don't know if at 2 to 1 I'd be willing to pay out. There's a few of them that are lined up behind, sort of, I guess, stacked up to try and take her on. Heaven's Gate for Aidan O'Brien was similar to Moorlam that we'll come on to in the next race, in that right at the line basically was stopped being ridden. I think the horse has got a chance. I think, like Liavani, Heaven's Gate, Miss Lamar, you could make a case for all of them in there. Miss Lamar had that listed win last time out, didn't she? I think this for me will be much more of a watching brief. Tales of the Heart's a horse that I like as well. It feels like it's not a Group 2, if you know what I mean. I know it is. There will be some good horses. That doesn't mean it's not that type of standard, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's one of those races where it's a bit too competitive for me wanting to get into. So I won't waste too much more time on this. I don't think I'll be having a bit of an Alpha Stakes, but I probably would like to see the favourite go in. Come on to why a little bit now. So the Goffs Premier Yearling Sales, there are conditions for this particular race, right? But remember, this is just a Class 2, right? Moorlam was 50 to 1, albeit, behind Liavani at Ascot in a Group 2 and was not beaten very far. Was favourite for a listed race last time at Deauville. I think it was Deauville, but was beaten, but still decent form. I tipped this horse up after her first run. I think she won at first, then she ran at Beverley, fell out the stalls, which is her want. She's slowly in stride all the time. All of that bit of form, though, is at 5 furlongs. Now, I think she's pretty good, to be honest with you. In this particular race, she gets weight because she's a girl. There's no penalties for her either in it. Like, I think she's attractively positioned in this particular race. Now, the reason why I've touched on some of that stuff with Liavani is that's running in a Group 2, albeit I wouldn't say it's the strongest Group 2, but it could turn out to be. Moorlam, if wasn't particularly purchased at this auction, would be potentially running in that type of race. Now, she'd be a bigger price than she is in there, but I think she's got a proper form chance. Now, Arizona Blaze is interesting, probably not a bit more exposed, but probably just as exposed as Moorlam. Bit of money for that horse, but has got to give tons of weight out. And Outlaw's Grace is probably the real interesting one. I'd sort of touch on why more so than anything is that, look, we've had these form in here, these like stats in here. Look, I've had a couple of more runs, 15 or 2 or shorter, Class 2 or better last time out. The last 2 didn't. 7 of the last 10 winners ran in the last 33 days or less. 5 of the last 10 winners were trained by Richard Hannon, and that is where an Outlaw's Grace comes in probably more so than it would do from a form perspective, I guess. There is good form in there, been running in group races as well. Richard Allen, I think he name-checked another horse this race. He was in the entries, but wasn't actually confirmed. Ryan Moore's up on this one, so that could be sort of a tip in itself. We're obviously going to try and win this race. We'll go real close. But the long way I'm talking about this one is I haven't struck a bet yet at the moment, but I want to bet Moorlam, I think. Now, 6 furlongs may not completely and utterly be a bag. She is slowly away, but I don't know. I feel like she's got a good chance. I think she's got, like, off her official rating and off of the figures that she's going to go against these. Ground looks like it's going to be fairly quick anyway. So I'm just trying to be careful with her because I did like her from the start of the season. I didn't bet her at Royal Ascot. I think I might have had I did bet Royal Ascot. I bet each way on her at 50, so it was okay. I just think that she's a horse that potentially did shape like she could stay on that first debut, but she can handle the pace of this. So it's not as good as a Group 2 race. It's not as good as the listed race she ran last time out on paper. But the depth in there, I don't think is really sat there. It is not a bad race, but I think I'm going to have to bet Moorlam. I guess I'm just kind of waiting to make sure I'm not just doing it because I'm a big fan of the horse. So look, 11 to 4 is available about her. There's not much bigger on the exchanges now. I'd hope I get a bit of a bigger price. I'm hoping that she might be fairly unsupported with the fact that she is stepping up in trip. And there's a bit of time now, obviously, until that race on Thursday. Look, there's bookmakers offering up to 6 places on this. There's obviously like one that's showing up as 5 places for Paddy Power, and then it's generally 4 places up for grabs. If she pushes herself out to 7 to 2 or something like that, then I would feel much more confident in having a sizable bet. So I don't know, 50 each way at 7 to 2, or maybe even a bit more, maybe 75 each way if I could get 4 to 1 or something. If she sits around this 11 to 4 mark, I know people might argue, well, the margins of doing it each way, etc. I would still want to bet her, but I think I would just take a win dart at her and sort of take it on the chin. Yeah, so I haven't bet her. I don't know what I'm going to stake on her if I'm being brutally honest, but let's just imagine, and I think we will get it. I think we'll get 7-2 or bigger. I'm hoping I can get 4-1. At that point, I'll be having, like I say, 50 or 75 each way. When I'm questioning in terms of the two numbers, it always makes me want to go for the lower amount. But I think she's got a chance, and I think the safety net of betting her each way as well sits there. So I haven't struck her yet. I guess when I do the updated video for tomorrow, which will be Wednesday night, I can update you on what I have struck on her. But she's definitely one I want to bet. Definitely scared of Arizona Blaze and Outlaws Grace, really, which is where, like I say, the fact that there could be 5 or 6 places up for grabs, generally 4, and I might be able to get her out 7-2. Like, it might not happen. She's as short as 9-4. We'll see where we go. But yeah, I tend to be quite price driven on ones like this because it sits okay with me that if she does bomb, then at least I feel like I'm betting at the right price. But look, probably a little bit too long spent on that one for a race I haven't struck a bet in yet. But again, this is why I think it's important. I can put the selections in the comments below, but if I haven't struck anything yet or I don't know what I'm doing, you're not going to be getting any insight, are you? But oh well, those guys will miss out, wouldn't they? Clipper handicap, beautiful little heritage handicap. Now, Elder Gem was one that was a non-runner when I wanted to bet it. Then one after that. Looks like a nice horse, carrying a penalty. It ticks a few boxes in here. This is one where I do look at these trends a little bit more for these ones because we have got, look, 9 of the last 10, 9 of the last 10. We've got 8 of the last 10, 8 of the last 10. There's lots of good things in there that you can sort of peel in together. The weight carrying bit, 9 stone and to 9 stone 6. There's a few things that go against the favourite in here, but that's not the reason why I've gone against it. Look, the one that came out standout really on those trends who tick basically every single one of the boxes was Blue for You. 12-1 bet 365. I've had £12.50 each way. Paddy Power are doing 6 places instead of 5 now. I'm pretty sure they've just updated their terms or have done so fairly recently. I've also backed James McHenry, who almost ticks all the boxes. I think for him, it's just a weight perspective. He's 8'11" instead of the 9 stone. But I've backed him on Paddy Power. Sorry, I've backed him on Betfair 16-1, £12.50 for 5 places as far as I'm concerned. I'm just quickly going on my phone now to see if I can confirm that it's 5 places, but I'm pretty sure it is. No, I got a 50 odd 6 places, so boom, can't believe that's 16s. But yeah, I've bet the 2 of them, so I've Dutched, not really Dutch, but I've split my stakes across there. So we've had 50 quid across the clipper there, Blue for You each way, and James McHenry each way. Look, it's less form based than it is those trendy bits, but they sat comfortably with me. I look into it a little bit, and I think they've got chances. So we are where we are. The Yorkshire Oaks is one. Excuse me. I haven't put a bet on this one yet. So again, from a price perspective, and you're watching the video, you want to see all the insight, didn't you? Look, I wanted to bet Content, I think, but I wanted to bet Content each way. Aidan O'Brien said in a little video thing, mate of mine texted me that she was going to run in here. I think you could get 9-2 or something like that. I could have gone to Hills and got the bet on, but I wouldn't have been having that much on, I don't think. I probably would have been having a 50 each way or something. Look, I respect Queen of the Pride because she's on a massive upward curve. The You Got To Me and Content run last time out, I think that Content could get the better if You Got To Me if she gets first run on her, but I don't think there was that much of a hard luck story with the fact that she got beat. It was what it was. One got out, he could have followed it. There wasn't that much in there, but I still think Content could beat You Got To Me. Emily Upjohn, of course, could do anything at any point. So this is sort of one where I'm kind of hoping I can get a bit of a bigger price. I'm kind of hoping that because Content hasn't won a race for a little while, we might get a bit of a bigger price, and it is relatively competitive. So similar to like the Kim's Gambit bit, which doesn't look like it's going to come off because that's already sub 2-1 now. So again, take that one on the chins. I can't bet and do the little tradey thing. I'd hope with Content that I might be able to get a bit of a price and then lay at a point. So as it stands at the moment, 3-1, I'd probably want closer to 4s, and then with a view that I think I could lay this horse in running, because I think Ryan will probably try and be a bit more aggressive, try and get first run on a couple of these, and I think he'll trade short, so I might really get free run. So again, haven't struck anything there. My thought process at the moment is, which again I can update you on tomorrow, is I'd try and look to have like 100 quid on Content that's close to 4-1 or something, with a view that I could lay at 3-1 and run into a point short for 100 just for ease. I might do something slightly different to try and get a bit of a free spin on there. But yeah, looks a good race to be fair. So yeah, I haven't had a bet in it yet. The Henry Cecil, because I was going to say Gold Trust at the same time. Henry Cecil Gold Trust Stakes, and this is one I have had a bet in. And this is the one where I was talking about friend with the. I will tell him to talk me out of betting something because I've bet it at a price I'm not 100% sure is the right way to bet it. And he's the one that's laying me. So is what it is. But see Just In Time is a horse that, when ran on debut for the Haggertys, they basically touted this horse as an Irish Oaks horse. Went for a listed race at Goodwood, and I've been told by a couple of people that had a bit of a setback before that. Was sent off 2s on, I think, for a listed race. Was beaten in there, but you know, I think there was enough of an excuse for me to think, okay, well, went and got beat, didn't it? Now, that Lava Stream that won the listed race is running in the Yorkshire Oaks. So again, not saying that that needs to be massively point proven, but we talked about Moorlam in a like Class 2 race where you've got Group 2 forming there. There is a Group 1 Oaks versus the Henry Cecil Stakes, which is a listed race. Now, I think with what they've really done with this See Just in Time is, I think that they've obviously had their eyes on doing something with her. So gradually, step by step, you don't really want to waste your time when you've got something that looks like an absolute weapon. Her mum looked like she was quite good. But they've come back after a bit of a break. She's running that novices race at Kempton, which I think would have just been a prep run for this, a bit of a warm-up. Got the job done, beat Beerley. If you watch the performance for Beerley in that race and the time it ran against Fairy Glen, you would say that Fairy Glen looks like a much better horse. But See Just in Time's debut was just group horse worthy. So I think she's a very good horse. I do get that there could be some depth in it, could be a bit of form, but like on weight adjusted ratings, because some of them are getting a bit of numbers in there, and then there's penalties as well in for the race. Fairy Glen comes out of top 98, then it's Nikhil 95, then it's See Just in Time and Satin on 94. The rest are like 87 or away. So not saying they can't get involved, but I don't think it's as close as potentially it might always look. Fairy Glen did 102 for an RPR. I think that's probably our best one. But See Just in Time did 95 on debut. I mean, that Satin has done like a 109, but carries a £9 penalty. So I don't think there's a lot that See Just in Time needs to do to improve. I do get the argument that my friend said that she probably could be a bit of a bigger price. So I've had her as a type of horse. This is difficult because I like to pride myself on being able to price stuff properly, but she could go off 5 to 4. She could go off 5 to 2. I put some money up at 7 to 4, actually put £150 up at 7 to 4 in like little chunks. And all of that's been matched. So as it stands, the time of recording, I've had £150 on See Just in Time at 7 to 4. Now I am prepared that this horse might get bigger. It's one of them. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on the exchanges, and if she does start to get bigger, I don't know whether I'll get some stake out and then look to replay it at a bigger price. But the long and the short of it is, I am definitely happy to bet this filly, and I'm definitely happy to have a reasonable bet on her because I think she's quite good. It's mad, really, isn't it? I'm talking about the price goal from there, 5 to 4, 5 to 2, and where I would bet. I'm happy with the 7 to 4. I would think, and I would have hoped that I could have got a little bit bigger, but you know, sometimes you think you might get a 5 to 2. Ends up being priced at say 7 to 4, and you can't get the bet on. You think yourself, I won't bet it, and then they shorten up more. Like I'm happy enough with the 7 to 4. So long-winded way of saying I've had a reasonable size bet on this one, but you may be able to get a bigger price about it. I am fully aware that I am taking a punt on this one as well to an extent, which is not necessarily recommended. So again, in terms of what I stake and how it's all spat about, this might be one that I could potentially be. I don't know. I don't think I want to try and get rid of any of it, but it could be one of those. I don't know if there is weakness and she drifts, and then obviously I'm sat with like a sort of a negative equity sat on it. It may be that I might try and reduce the amount, so I might put a lay in for 50 quid at the 7 to 4 of stakes to try and get myself down to just £100 liability by putting that in running lay in there, because you know, mile 4 furlongs, lots of things can happen. Horses can travel well and not really get there, but yeah, I think this See Just in Time is. Well, they talked about her as an Irish hoax horse. I think that's what she is as well. The last time was her first run at 1 mile 400, doing all her best work late. The 1 mile 2 run on debut, she just quick and clear markedly. I think she's so much better than a listed filly. So look, I'm paying to find out. If you want to follow me, and then by all means do so. But like, just because I've had a big lump on her, I wouldn't say it's the best value bet I've put out there. But winner's a winner, right? Nursery handicap, we can go quicker on this one because there's only been a handful of run-ins. I'm not really particularly interested in this race in the slightest. Hot Property is the only one that ticks all the boxes of the qualifiers, but that's a small sample. The only thing I would say is it's all of the last 4, though. So if we look at it here, all of the last 4 had no more than 1 win. All the last 4 ran in the last 16 days or less. That's the one that basically means it's only Hot Property. There's loads of like 17, 18 days. And all of the last 4 winners were top 3 last time out. So whether I'll have a tentative little £12.50 each round that for the sake of a bet, I don't know. There's 4 places, 5 places up for grabs. I probably will. I haven't struck the bet yet, but very much like I was talking about with Designer, I would probably advise the bet in some way, shape, or form, but we're not going to get rich off of that. Hopefully, we're not going to go bust off it either. The 520 fillies handicap, this will be one where I can wrap it up fairly quickly. I've used the trends bits again to try and get me in here because look, we've got loads of 9s, we've got loads of 8s in there as well. Load of qualifiers that come out of this. RSA, Coppell Hall Lane, Sunfall, and Rachna. Now, they're all relatively short. I found it difficult to try and split those. Aquacel was also pretty much a qualifier, but preference is given to what horses that won last time out. So I've got those 4 ones that I qualified. I will be doing a combination tri-cast for the crack. So I'll be having a £1 combination tri-cast. That'll be 24 bets, I think, isn't it? Or is it? Yeah, it's 24 bets for the lines of them. I might look at putting Aquacel in, which would make the bets bigger. I think it'll make it 60 lines and then do that sort of 50p. But I'll probably waste 20, 25 quid or something like that just doing the tri-cast because it's a trends ticker. And, like if you don't do it, then you could play well. We had that one at Royal Ascot that didn't come in where I had 1st, 3rd, and 4th. And they were 33s, 40s, and 50s. It would have paid like 10 grand. So I'm just being honest again. I haven't struck the bet yet, but I'll have a little tri-cast on there. So look, that wraps up where we are with the bets for day 2. Not many have actually been struck. Like I said, there's a bigger bet that's gone on there than compared to other sizes in there, but hopefully the reasoning sort of justifies where I am with it. Look, I guess there's a level of confidence because I'm putting money out on these first couple of days, but I'm also accepting that there's going to be some luck. It could go one way or the other, but it's not the be all and end all, right? Just if we draw a little bit of a blank on those couple of days doesn't mean that it's been horrific or we got too much stuff wrong. Obviously, we got it wrong if they don't go and win, didn't it? But like, I do feel like I've got a chance of getting some winners as well. But it's one of those bet accordingly. Like the confidence isn't massively. It's not low, it's not high, it's just where it should be. So again, feel comfortable with these, is what it is. We'll see how the racing goes. Friday, I do fancy a couple, and Saturday there's a few as well. Now Friday could be a proper bet in there. Again, very variance in what's going on, but I need to see what the draw is on that one, and we'll come back to that after. So again, thank you for your guys' support. Make sure you've liked the video, make sure you subscribe, drop a comment below with what your best bets are for day 2. I'll be back to catch you after racing of day 1. I'll put the video up tomorrow night, and hopefully we've drawn a few quid. And if I've struck any more bets or I've added the ones that I've talked about or speculated on here, I'll let you guys know what I've done at that point, all right? Because obviously I want to get these out early so you know where I'm thinking and what I'm trying to do. But at the same time, there might not be the prices or the time to strike just yet. I might need to do it nearer the off, but I don't want to wait and not put a video out just so I can tell you I've bet something, because I may have to wait till an hour before the race. So I know it's loose in terms of a profit and loss type thing, and there are bets I'm talking about that I might not actually strike, but I think you guys will know me well enough by now that I'm honest enough with all of it. I'm not here to just say, boom, I've had a load of winners, or, oh my God, I'm really sorry I've had a load of losses. I mean, I would apologize if we've got loads of losses, but I'm just not going to fabricate anything, okay? So waffle over. I will catch you guys again tomorrow. Be lucky for day 1, be lucky for day 2, and thank you for your support. I do really appreciate it.